We hear an awful lot about the API economy. We heard a reference to it this morning from Mike Roden. We believe at Saugatuck this is a major thread going through our experience, and that it will impact not just cloud providers, but also IT organizations, and that managing these APIs and managing the integration process across these APIs is a critical competency for IT. Any reactions to any of that? I'll start with you.
I'll certainly agree that doing integrations across your stack of we'll call them services to deliver solutions is a competency that you have to have, because your solutions are rarely delivered by one vendor. Having said that, I think there has been a mentality for a long time that in some companies that you go after the best of breed solution for every business process. There is, I would say, a great deal of value in finding a good integrated stack that delivers many business processes and requires less effort on the integration side than would otherwise be necessary.
No, we've seen a lot of that tendency. What do you think about that, Jason?
And just to build up on that, we're firm believers that to try and consolidate and have one application suite that kind of takes care of the majority of your needs. But there's always going to be an element of the business that's going to have a unique requirement that someone can't provide for, and I think that's why it's key to, as a part of your process, is to be very easy to integrate. Because I do think we're getting to almost API hell when it gets to so many to manage that people don't even know what to do anymore, right? And that's why I think they're going to more and more IT shops are going to rely on outside, that classic SI. Their role is going to change as they try and come in and integrate these what I'll call niche products into more mainstream elements to kind of leverage the business, because the business has the need. We don't want to ignore it.
Yeah, if middleware is your biggest department in IT, it's time to work.
Yeah, it's time to move around.
Mark, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that coming from the ERP world and the history of that, I think that what you said about APIs is absolutely critical, and I think we're in a tough spot, because the prevailing wisdom of the last 25 years in ERP has been that your ERP vendor has to do everything, and if they can't do it, it's going to be really difficult. And so they're out buying stuff or building stuff, and they had a very defensive integration position which said, we'll give you these narrow APIs to plug stuff together while we're on the track of building it or buying it. But the only way it's really going to work is if you get it all from us. And that proved not to work. I think Mark Andreessen said that really early on in this that the internet's a team sport, and I think that's absolutely true, that you're not going to be able to get everything from one supplier. And as a result, it's made a push towards more offensive integration, which expects to be plugged into things. It expects to have the same mashup ability in the enterprise that we can do sort of at home. So yeah, do try this at home.
So you're saying architecture should be proactive toward the integration. Yeah.
Absolutely. You've got to build it with that in mind. One of my favorite lines is, everything's perfectly designed to do what it does.
Yeah.
And if you don't design it with that in mind, it's not going to do it, and you're going to end up with middleware not only being the biggest IT piece, it's going to be the biggest thing in your whole business. So I think it's absolutely crucial that you have an offensive strategy towards that, and do design in that ability to basically mash up with what's out there.
Great answer. Yeah, Vikram.
The only thing I would add is, I do agree that to the extent possible, you can get most of your functionality from a stack or a vendor. That's a good thing. Things will integrate better. The typical mistake that I would caution folks from avoiding, because I've made it and we've made it, is thinking of that monolithic technology as though it's always going to be there, right? Mm-hmm. And putting all your data in it in such a way that you actually can't get it out again without spending a ton of money. And so separating data, having a service bus architecture, abstracting things as much as possible is the way to go. It's not always easy to do, but that's how you make it real.